me and the Red G. We did an interview. For those who watch the titles, you'll have seen this very special young man who we met at the Holiday Inn that we were staying at on night one. A little lad called Oliver. Really, really nice kid. Now, before we do go into this, Oliver had some really bad news on Friday morning. By all accounts, at 11 years of age, he was told he wasn't going to be good enough to be a rugby league player and to move on, which me and Greg found absolutely shocking. Now, we didn't ask who it was. We didn't ask the team that he played for. All I know is an 11-year-old kid should be allowed to play rugby league and enjoy themselves. I mean, the vast majority of park players are not going to make it. It doesn't matter at 11 if he was good enough or not. He should be allowed to play rugby league. So me and Greg said, look, don't worry about that. Go and find yourself a team that loves you. But actually what we found out was that young Ollie works for BBC Humberside. He is a little roving reporter. So in order to, give him something to show BBC Humberside and to help him on his journalistic journey, we thought we would put a new little segment in. And that segment is all for Ollie. And what Ollie's going to do every week, because we really like the kid and we want to make sure that he understands what talent he's got and how far he'll go in life, we said that we would do a little segment called What Would Ollie Say? So here is young Ollie, his debut on Super League Raw, and then we'll debate what he's had to talk about. Here comes the little man.
What would Oliver say at Super League Raw? So I think that a very controversial decision went Leeds' way in the Leeds v St Helens match on Saturday night. I think that the Lewis Murphy yellow card should never have been a yellow card, and it should always have been a penalty tried to the Saints. I think that just because Lewis Murphy never saw the player coming up to him, and so he didn't take his eyes off the ball, he just tried to catch the ball, and then he jumped how he would normally jump. So then it went backwards off the Leeds arm, which made it play on. And then Mark Percival received the ball, and then he kicked it, and I think Harry Newman tripped him up, and that could have made it a penalty try, because I think Mark Percival could have got there in the end.
There you go. Ollie has spoken. So let's have a little chat about what Ollie's got to say there. The Lewis Murphy incident, gentlemen. Joel, you'll have seen this on the TV. Obviously, we saw it live in the stadium. What was your thoughts on the Lewis Murphy yellow card?
Well, first of all, well done, Ollie. Attention to detail there. That was cracking. Yeah, look forward to listening to that again. So if you're watching, Ollie, which I'm hoping you are, really well done, mate. That was fantastic. Well done. I think he makes a good point. Yeah, when especially when you've got people in them kind of positions, they tend to have their eye on the ball all the time, especially the best players, because they're the ones where you can save tries. It's where you can hold a man up and get him before the line and keep your defence solid. I think there has to be a bit of common sense coming in play, and we've said this before, haven't we? Common sense always should come to the fore. It's like when two people go up for the ball and somebody's elbowed somebody else in the face. We've seen it before. They've had a yellow card for it. Well, they're not meant to elbow them. They've just caught the ball in any way they can. So, yeah, I'm not sure what your guys' take on it was, but for me, that's how I see it. And I think you can see on the cameras, especially when they slow it right down, you can see where he's looking. If he's looking at his man, fair enough. But if he's not, then I think Ollie should be a video ref. Well done.
Yeah, Kev Wowell there, straight in. And Greg Roach, he says, wow, excellent analysis. I mean, look, bottom line is, he's actually, I think Greg's right there, boys. You're on notice. If you don't put your ideas up, Ollie could replace you on this podcast. You know that, don't you? The boy's going far. Steph, Greg's already gone. He knows when he's beaten. Steph, look, I mean, you have a different opinion on this. You thought it was a yellow, didn't you?
I think it was a soft yellow, but I do think it was a yellow. Yeah. First things first, though, what a bit of analysis that was, and quite rightly putting us to shame. Who cares what we think when you've got Ollie coming up with that? So yeah, fantastic effort from the young man, and he's definitely got a slot on this show for as long as he wants it, I think. I just think in terms of we're saying it's a natural thing. I don't think it is natural. He does jump for the ball, and he is looking for the ball all the time. I've got no qualms with that whatsoever. I think what the video ref picked up on was he changed his leg, and actually it wasn't just a straight jump. He actually kind of kicks out, and I think that's what did him. It's a soft one. It is a soft one, but it could have been very dangerous. And I think just that slight movement that he makes it not just a penalty for me, and it was the right decision probably to yellow card him.
Greg?
Yeah, never mind us being nervous of Ollie here. I think John Wilkin and co are nervous after that excellent analysis by Ollie. Well done, kid. You did a brilliant job. Yeah, I think in the climate now, I think it is a soft yellow. And I agree with what Joel and Steph have both said. I just think the climate that we're in now with how decisions are going, how video refs are viewing things, how things are slowed down. I think I agree with Steph. It's a soft yellow, but I can understand why it was given.
Right. I get everybody's view on it. For me, probably wasn't as contentious as the one on the other side, where it was adjudged to have been a knock on, and Saints went over. That one for me, probably a little bit more so. But hey, love what Ollie had to say there. As far as Ollie's concerned, Saints should have had a penalty try. Who am I to argue with a journalist of that magnitude? I'm not going to do it. So Ollie, I'm with you, Chief, all the way. I put on the graphic for tonight's show, what can we learn from Magic? Well, what we learned is that the Super League Raw community was the greatest community in the stadium, but none. But apart from that, what else do we actually learn about Magic? Let's go here, shall we? Joel, you were watching it on the telly. We were getting frustrated in the stadium. Video referees, are they ruining the game? Are they turning? I mean, again, if you're going to bring an audience to rugby league, whether it be on the TV or live in stadiums, I mean, there's a lot of people who are getting a little bit fed up with how long the video refs are taking. And I know that Darryl Powell came out, I think Luke Robinson came out after the game, so did Danny McGuire. I think they were all chipping in that it's just too long. You know, they're messing about. We need to adopt, surely, the bunker system from Australia.
We do. And I think that is the only way it's going to work, because before this, you know, there was talkings of why a decision's made so quickly. Why aren't they reviewing it properly and making sure that the decisions are right? Now we're reviewing it properly, making the decisions are right. We're not happy because it's taking so long. So yeah, having the bunker coming in would be great. I think for the ones where you've got a tough view, the referee's clearly not seeing it properly. He doesn't know for sure, and you've got tight angles, loads of bodies in. Fair enough, you get it. Why they might take some time, but for those that are straight forward tries, we've seen that it's not a knockout. We've seen that it's this, that, other, and then they go to the grounding. My word, it's just ridiculous. Now you know the second it goes to the grounding, we know it's a try. Silly build-up that you get beforehand, them graphics that they put together. There's no need. They just need to revamp how they do it, and I think they need to look at it and see what is deserving of a video ref. And I think for something that's straightforward that the ref should get, they shouldn't be allowed to send it up to the video ref, I believe. Because otherwise, what have you got your referee for? Because currently, as we know, they're sending it up to the video ref for everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think it might have been Liam Rush. I can't remember. I think one of them was ridiculous. I think everyone went, even the ones that were obviously tries were going up. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But the thing is, you know, the thing about the bunker stuff in Australia is that, you know, if the referee should give a try. None of this nonsense. If a referee is going to do that, give the try, because the video ref will have 2 minutes from the try being scored to that kick being kicked, because we both know all kickers wait a minute. You know, they always call time off because they've got a minute after the try for, you know, to get themselves into position. Then it's called off, and by that point, sometimes the ball hasn't even been placed. So they've got 2 minutes to one way or the other call it, exactly like Australia. This needs to happen, and it needs to happen quick.
Yeah, and I think that's the real quick win for us. If you're going to go up as a try, then just award the try. You've got that time to review it. Then the video refs can do that, and it just comes up confirmed. Or then they stop the game to say we need to actually have a look at this further. That would speed up, you know, the game loads straight away. But I do think some of the people in the chat point it as well. There needs to be a shot clock on the video refs to make a decision, because it feels like they go back and forth, look at the same angles. I lost count at the weekend how many times I went, that's a try, or that is clearly not a try. But yet we have to look at another angle to prove that it wasn't a try that we've already proven. It's just stupid. You know, if you can see a reason why it's not a try, why do you need to look at another angle? Because you've already seen it's not one.
You've seen it is one.
It's one. Yeah, exactly. And every time that I was shouting at the TV, I was right. You know, that's the eventual one thing. So they just need to look at what Australia are doing. I get what people are saying about the cameras as well. Unfortunately, that comes with extra cost, which we've probably not got the funding for with Sky at the moment. But yeah, if we could improve the cameras, I think that would make a big difference. But obviously, we've got to look at finances with that as well. But yeah, let's just bring the bunker in.
People who played the game, going back to Ollie's point, Greg, people who played the game said that they believed that the Murphy one wasn't. I mean, George Williams, I think, on the bench said it as well. And if you haven't watched the bench, that's a really good episode this week, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
But George Williams said he didn't think that was a yellow card for Murphy. Danny Maguire says that, you know, the game's too slow. You know, why should there be interchanges? You know, they probably don't need as many interchanges now because they're having that much of a rest, is what Danny Maguire said, which again I thought was a really good point. And, you know, just as a final one, you can wrap all this up. Are referees obligated by Sky to use the video ref for the advertising? It makes you wonder.
Well, I've seen that in the chat, and it does make you wonder. For me, get rid of the try on try. Get rid of the on-field decision. If you're going to send it up, I'm unsighted, or I'm not sure, or can you just check? And I hate to say this, but Union do this so much better. The NRL do this so much better. Because it goes up as a try, video refs are trying to see reasons why they should give it as a try and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of try, no try. It automatically speeds the system up, but I'm agreeing with anybody else. Get the bunker system in. Get non-referees in the bunker. Because I think there's been a lot of accusations, especially with Captain's Challenge, that these guys are supporting the mates and don't want to be seen to go against the mates unless it's glaringly obvious. So get non-referees in the bunker. And another thing I would stop is this second refereeing that's going on that has resulted in so many yellow and red cards. If the referee doesn't see it on the pitch, the video referee shouldn't interfere unless the video referee sends it up for a decision. That's my opinion on that as well.
Fine, Dabby.
Cards.
Fun, Dabby knows. Well, we've got plenty of other things to discuss. Let's not get through it all in one go, sir. You just allow me to conduct the orchestra for a moment, if you don't mind. And actually, Sam Kennedy, a Wakefield Trinity fan, come on the train, has just joined Super League Raw. And Gary Hutchinson as well. Gary is another Hulk AR fan. Outstanding. More and more joining. Just to repeat, for tonight only. Join using that QR code as an 18th man. Some we're going 6 again anyway, because they want to be a part of the community. They want the WhatsApp group. They want Captain's Run. They want Round Unpack. They want to come on the Final Whistle podcast. They want to be in grounds with the Super League Raw community, sharing lifts and all that good stuff. Do you want to be too? This is the place to be. Nobody's doing it like Super League Raw are. We are both ways. Other podcasts, it's all at you. We are a community. We live in, well, we don't live together, but we could do one day if we got a house big enough, gentlemen. Anyway, that's another story. We come remember do the QR code.
Everyone of a certain age, sir.
You know, it makes sense. Outstanding. Great to have so many people joining us this evening. It could be a record night. Anyway, right, where are we going to go next? Let's go. I'll tell you where we're going to go next, right? We've talked about the referees. I want to show the referees a little bit of love. Is the match review panel hanging the officials out to dry? Now, this week, you know, we've just said, you know, we've been just criticising the referees for not making decisions. Some decisions were made this weekend, and the match review panel have made those referees look daft. I mean, there's some that have been deemed as on-field sufficient, no further action, which really caught me by surprise, I have to say. Are they causing them a problem, Joel?
Absolutely. Just based off alone the Huddersfield game, and that's the one. Oh, it's infuriating.
Keep it clean, sir. Keep it clean. Take a breath.
It's infuriating. You know, I'm one for if someone's done something, regardless who it is, they should be penalised for it, and heavily if it's bad. If there's contact to the head and you get a red card, you should be penalised heavily for it. It's totally against the rules. The players know that, especially, and this is what really gets me, especially when it's the play straight after you've just smacked someone in the chops and then gone down again. So you've also then got to look at the intent. So how you can get away with getting absolutely nothing, it just baffles me.
Yeah. It baffles. I mean, look, let's go to the blindingly obvious one here, and that's the night one.
Yeah.
Now, you know, people say that the contact was with the chest and Huey bounced up. And actually, do you know what, Joel? I've got a degree of sympathy. However, there was intent. He puts the shoulder in. His shoulder moves. His shoulder goes. There was an intent there. Head explosion. For me, Knight was fortunate that he actually hit his chest, because I think when a player goes into collision and the shoulder comes round, and it did, that for me is intent. I'm amazed he got away with that. Now, I know it's your team, so I'm not going to put you on the spot because I'm sure you agree with me. So I'm going to go to neutrals who weren't your team on this one. Greg, your take on it. You know, was Knight a lucky boy?
Very. It was a bad one.
Yeah.
And that game was bubbling. We turned around at half time. We said there's more cards in this. Luckily, there wasn't. It was bubbling. They were both out for more than just playing rugby, those two teams. Whatever the beef was between them, it started early. It carried on. I think the referee should have turned around to them and said, just take the tap to Huddersfield when he gave the penalty for that brawl. And, you know, we all said, well, was somebody kicked while they were on the ground as well, which they didn't show on the replays in the stadium. So I can't comment on that. The referee should have said, take a tap and kick it into touch and we'll all go in and have a calm down at halftime. But he's a very, very lucky boy. And this goes back to, yes, we're all happy that, or happier, that they've changed the system around and they've maybe listened to rugby league fans. And now it's a different system. It's a point system. But I've argued for a while that we should bring in, and I know Steph doesn't quite agree. Steph doesn't agree with me on this one. I don't think, or we've kind of had conversations about this, that, you know, there should be a point system for the card you receive. You get a red card, it's an automatic 1-game ban. You get 2 red cards in a season, it's 2 games, etc. You get a yellow card, it's a point. You get up to 5 points and you get an automatic 1-game ban. I think that is clearer for people to understand, because at the minute, I don't know where we are, to be honest, at the minute. You know, that night challenge is a bad one, and it could have been a lot worse. He was out to kill on that tackle. He really was. He really was. The red mist. The red mist had descended, mate. The red mist had descended.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You know, so I would go for a point system for the card that you receive.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring Steph in. Steph, just a quick one on Knight. Was he lucky? Was he not? But also, I think what we saw as well from the disciplinary panel in the stadium, it felt like Hull FC were milking some crushers. It felt that way because they were trying to even it up. You watched it on the box. Did you have the same feeling? Did that creep in, do you think?
Yeah, that's a real bugbear of mine, and I think you'll notice it. And I'd encourage anybody to watch out for this as well, because it may go a bit unnoticed. But if you watch when a team gets somebody sent off, more than likely within the next 10, 15 minutes, the opposition team who've been victim of that will then try and feign a crusher tackle to try and get a yellow card to even it up. It's happened so many times this season. And it makes a mockery of the ones that are getting genuine crusher tackles as well. And it's a real frustration of mine, that, because we're a proud sport of men who try really hard, and women as well in the women's game. We don't need stuff like that. It's a very difficult thing to prove as well, but you can just tell it is. On the Liam Knight thing, what I would say with that is he does not attempt to wrap his arms whatsoever. It's a shoulder charge, which is obviously an outlawed thing. And then he makes contact with the head as well with his shoulder in a turning motion. It's a red card all day. I've seen someone mention about the Hull one, which the Giants, I think it was Tom Burgess, I think he's referring to, hit on Asiata. Big difference with that was Tom Burgess wasn't late in that tackle. It was a shoulder charge. It wasn't contact with the head. It was a yellow card all day long. But a lot of people thought it was for the late hit. It wasn't late at all. It was a perfectly timed tackle. It was just an outlaw tackle, which was the shoulder charge. So
what a great chat, gentlemen. What a great chat. On the topic of Asiata, let's just quickly go there. If I'm on FC, I'm very concerned if Asiata picks up or not, because they were a completely different side when he was off that field from an attacking standpoint. I mean, I was sat next to Jono, and I kept saying to Jono, just watch Asiata, Jono. Every time he's first receiver, virtually every play of the ball, he's dictating the play. And he was throughout, and then he went off, and it was either going to Cust or Caesar first. And the whole dynamic changed. So if I'm Hull FC, I'm telling you now, you need Johnny Asiata, in good fettle in order to really stay in those top 6 positions. Because at this moment in time, you're falling like a stone. But that's by the by. Right. Let's, again, what else have we learned from Magic? And I put here on the buses a Magic farce. We heard on Final Whistle Jill all the way from Montreal. Yes, we're an international fan club here at Super League. And she said, about the stadium looking a little bit empty. And then you hear that, buses were arriving for the Warrington game as the Huddersfield game was already playing. That actually, for the Hull KR bus turned up at 7:30 before the Leeds game kicked off. I mean, that's a major own goal. As a sport, I mean, surely the buses have got to get them there for the first game and then leave after the last game to entice more people to remain in the ground. Can you believe that the clubs are allowing that to happen?
Well, that's what they did when Magic pretty much first started, and when it was I remember when it was at the Etihad, they had people, they made people get there early, and if you'd missed it, you had to wait till the game had ended for you to get into the next one, because it was quite regimented how they did it. But they were very strict on that you had to be there for a certain time for it to be open, for your ticket to allow you in. So it's like they've got quite relaxed over the years with that. Yeah. Because early on it was you bought the ticket for the weekend or the day.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to be better than that. Hello to Mike McKay. He's the new member at Super League Raw. They're coming in this evening. They're loving it. Maybe they were hearing us singing. Maybe they saw all the jovial fun that we had at Magic Weekend. Oh, yes. FOMO, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're seeing tonight. You need to become a part of Super League Raw. Nobody does a podcast like Super League Raw. Absolutely no one. Right, okie dokie. Where are we going to go next? We're going to go, I'll tell you where we're going to go next. Oh, this is a belter. Let's go here. Is Will Pryce the new Jake Connor? Discuss. Because let's be fair, he was jumping like a gazelle. He was in the face of the officials. He was, he was all over it in terms of trying to manage the game. Neither you nor Steph were in the stadium. I don't know if he got picked up on Sky, but Greg, you were there. Greg, it was embarrassing.
He was a little bit, and somebody's put in the chat that they missed him throwing the head into somebody as well. And I think it was when that brawl was going on. Yeah. I think he's that desperate to kind of make an impression because, let's face it, he hasn't had the greatest start to his career. Yeah, I think he needs to calm down. I'm not so sure he's the new Jake Connor, although Jake Connor has calmed down a hell of a lot. And a lot. I think that a lot of that is down to Brad Arthur, as I said last week, I think he's turned around and said, Jake, you just do your own thing, mate. I'm not going to coach you. You do your own thing.
Yeah.
I think he's got to calm down. He needs to settle in. He needs to find his game, and then I think he will calm down. I think he's too busy trying to make himself known because of the expectation that's come with him, maybe. Maybe I'm being kind, but I like to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, what I saw on the TV was which you might not have seen because he had the camera plumb on his face. He was, and I can't remember who he said it to, but he was saying to one of our lot, he says, "You're gone, you're gone." Well, referee's still trying to make a decision. He said, "You're off, mate," and he's getting into his face and saying, "You're off, you're gone, you're gone." He just needs to chill out, doesn't he?
He just needs to, just relax a little bit.
He needs to sit next to you at Huddersfield game, Joel.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Shit weekend. Unlike football, this is why rugby league is so great, because 12 teams, one menu, and look at this. We've got the mighty Trin in the house there, they are down there. We've got the Paul Wellens Barmy Army. They love a bit of Paul Wellens. There's no pink in the Lily family. Oh no, here they are, here's the Lily. There they are, they're in the family. And then we've got some new family over here, new KR Robin fans, here they are. Look at this, they're in the house. That's what we have. Wonderful stuff. There you go. See what I'm saying? Outstanding stuff. And then, of course, we've got Mr. Sale representing Lee Leopards. Good afternoon, Mr. Sale. Good afternoon. Nixon and the Wilcos in the house. And then we've got Red to Crowd. We've got Red to Crowd in the corner. Leeds Rhinos. All of these wonderful people enjoying each other's company, as only the rugby league community can do. Magic Weekend 2025, Super League Raw in the house. We will see you at St James's Park. Bye for now.